start the meeting because it's 7, okay? I'm sure. All right, I'll call the meeting to order. There are no public comments, I take it, Jeanette, right?
No public comment.
Okay, next item on the agenda is minutes of September 12th meeting.
I'm sorry, I'm letting in Congregation B'nai Jacob, but I believe that's Lauren.
Oh, I think it must be, yes.
Yes, hi.
Great, hi, Lauren. Hope you had a nice weekend.
Thank you. Hope everybody is good.
Okay, so we are up to the minutes of September 12th.
Didn't it start at 7? Am I that late? What time did we start?
No, you know what?
Just started.
We started
sorry.
right at 7.
All
It's
right,
like
I'm
1
sorry.
minute after 7.
I'm
I think
sorry.
you're
Okay.
not late.
Sorry.
I
Okay.
apologize. Okay. So,
Move we accept the minutes.
okay, and do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay, I'll do the roll call vote. Alex, you weren't present, so you'll be not voting, abstaining, okay?
Okay.
All right. Janet,
Yes.
Viviana,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes,
Lauren,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Okay, minutes are
1,
accepted.
2, 3, 4. So it was 5,
Yes. see,
0,
but
1.
It's, no, Alex
Yeah,
was not present at
so-
the meeting.
So 5, 0, 1, I think. 5 in favor, none opposed, and 1 abstention.
sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Chrissy, would you give us the Woodbridge Center report, please?
Sure. We have a lot going on at the center. And as one client even said when she was signing up for all the programming, she said she's going to need to have a cot at the center to be able to attend all the programming. But having a purpose, being active, and making connections is the antidote to loneliness and despair. So we're offering those things so that doesn't happen. And before I get to the specific programming, I just wanted to commend the Living Treasure Committee and especially Jeanette and Ellen for the incredible amount of work that they did in making the event such a success. Jeanette will go into detail in just a little bit, but they really did an outstanding job. So as for programs at the center, on September 9th, we had the last armchair adventure in the series, and this was a virtual trip to Acadia National Park. And the attendance was once again good for this park. On September 13th, we had the annual Coachman Picnic, which was offered as a drive-through due to a rainy weather forecast. We had 119 people attend the event, and Carol Davino and Chef Brian from Coachman did an impressive job providing all the food and cooking out to distribute the food as well. Pierce Campbell, funded by the Agency on Aging, provided entertainment at the drive-through. So it was a really fun event, even though it was a little gray out, and everyone really enjoyed.
Christy, can I interrupt for a second?
Sure.
Could everyone mute themselves who's not speaking?
You're muted, Jeanette, though. We can't hear you.
A lot of sounds, background noise. So anyone who's not muted, please mute themselves, and I'll do the same.
Unfortunately, that was Carol's last event that she will be attending since she is leaving Coachman to pursue other opportunities at the towers in New Haven. And we hope to maintain the connection to Carol through the towers. And also today, Jeanette and I met with Jessica Spezzano, who is the new Carol at Coachman. She's a ball of energy, and she is very positive and looks forward to maintaining the same support that Carol had established with us. So that was good news. On September 21st, we had a lunch and learn with Drazen Rubin Law, which provided an overview of the potential risks and pitfalls when planning for the future with individuals with special needs. There were 7 people that attended, which was pretty good considering it was a very specific topic. Unfortunately, there was a miscommunication with Drazen Law, and they did not provide the lunch portion of the lunch and learn, but they were very apologetic, and in the future, they said that they will be providing it. On September 23rd, we had violinist Alana Zaks give a solo performance that was funded through the Agency on Aging. And she really gave it just an amazing performance. She patiently explained the pieces. She gave historical background to the pieces and spoke about the composers, and then allowed time throughout the performance for questions. We had 25 people attend, and everybody just really enjoyed it and talked about it for many days afterwards. Many requested that the center offer similar programs in the future. And one person afterward excitedly said, "My friends at Whitney Center are always bragging about the wonderful shows they see there, and now I can brag to them." So that was good. On October 3rd, we had a lunch and learn, another one on hearing loss is tiring. It was given by Dr. Horowitz. She gave a very informative presentation focused on conserving and preserving hearing, including the consequences of ignoring hearing loss. And there was a lot of positive feedback on how much information was provided, and it was really enjoyed. The lunch was sponsored by Coachman Square, which was also enjoyed. And on October 7th, last Friday, Hampton Rehabilitation and Healthcare offered a taste of Vermont. And this was very much enjoyed also, and included a virtual autumn tour of Vermont with fun facts. And the people that attended were able to enjoy hot apple cider, and apple cider donut, cheeses from Vermont, and maple syrup as well. This past Saturday, on October 8th, the center had a table at the Woodbridge Like Me Day. We shared it with Nancy from Youth Services, and we had people continuously stopping by. It was a beautiful day out and a great opportunity to make some new connections and support a wonderful cause. Jess and I had made new Woodbridge Center brochures with the regular programming listed, something that I had hoped to do for a while, and it was very helpful on Sunday promoting the center. We'll also use them at Bethany's Health Fair that we're going to be attending on October 19th, and for our own health fair at the end of the month. And then today began the new session of the Lifestyle Change Program. We had 10 people in attendance, and there's a couple more that will be joining next week. And this session will have guest speakers, the weekly fitness class, and 6 private sessions with the registered dietitian. Tomorrow on October 12th, we'll have another lunch and learn about what's new for Medicare in 2023 and how to prepare for the annual enrollment. It's going to be given by Jeffrey Coleman, and lunch will be sponsored again by Coachman Square. And then on Thursday, on October 13th, we'll have a murder mystery, which is going to be offered through Hampton Health and Rehab. And this will be a suspenseful interactive game of mystery and intrigue with participants divided into teams and then solving a case file together. There'll be evidence reports, toxicology and autopsy reports, and actual evidence from the crime scene. So this sounds like it'll be a lot of fun, and it was really popular since the beginning of advertising for it. So we were expecting a good turnout. On October 17th, we will start the diabetes management class, which is a 6-week session that will cover the tools needed to better manage diabetes and pre-diabetes. We're offering it in collaboration with the library, and it will be led by Mary Swanziger, who is just loved here at the center, and everyone really enjoys the programs that she gives. It's provided through Griffin Hospital and the Agency on Aging of South Central Connecticut. On October 19th, we'll have another lunch and learn on conservatorship, guardianship, and supported decision-making. And this will be presented by Drazen Rubin Law, and they will provide the lunch, hopefully. And this will just provide more information on navigating the complicated world of special needs planning, and go into more depth on that. And then on October 27th, we'll have our spooky sponsor social, which is a healthcare style event that's exclusively for the vendors that have sponsored the center's lunches and drive-throughs over the past year. The vendors are encouraged to decorate their tables, dress in costume if they'd like, and hand out fun treats. And it's a great opportunity for local businesses to be able to share what they can offer, and for the attendees to show their appreciation for their generosity. And after going through all the vendors, the participants can pick up a to-go lunch, which will be sponsored by Coachman Square and Whitney Rehab. And then after they get their lunch, they can head over to the library and watch the movie Phantom of the Opera to complete the fun day. As far as grants, the center was officially informed that we were awarded 4 of the 5 grants that were applied for during the month of August through Agency on Aging. We were successful in securing the $225 grant for musical entertainment at Coachman's Picnic, and the $400 for the solo violinist concert that I mentioned last month. In addition, we were awarded the $875 grant for the labor portion of Wi-Fi installation in the center building in the Human Services Corridor. And we were also awarded the $9,500 grant for the labor portion of the installation of the projector and screen in the center after it's renovated. And then we also were informed that we received funding through Connecticut Healthy Living Collective in the amount of $2,880 to offer another Taijikwan Moving for Better Balance program at the center. This is a 24-week, 2-day-per-week session that will begin in early January. And the one that's going on now is really popular. We have 14 people of the 15 maximum that are allowed in the class that have continued. And there's already a long waiting list for the next session. We're thinking about possibly offering a second session for a nominal fee. So we're going to look into that a little more. And as for staffing, our transportation program numbers continue to increase, and residents are really grateful for the service. Unfortunately, we received news recently that our newest driver, Mike Quick, will be resigning in the next week or so for a full-time position. Mike was a huge asset to the transportation program, and we will miss him even though he was only here a short time. We were in the process of considering hiring another per diem driver when we found out about Mike's resignation. And so we interviewed Bob Wardle last week. He seemed like a good fit, but unfortunately he stopped by today to say that his family and him decided that it would be better for him not to take the position. So we'll be posting the driver position again in the near future. And that's about it. Are there any questions?
Kudos for
Chris,
all those grants.
Did someone else say something? Yeah.
which grant did you get? You said you got 4 out of 5 grants.
Yeah, so we got the 2 I mentioned last one. I know you weren't here, but one was for the music at the annual town picnic. One was for the violin soloist, and then the 2 other ones that we found out about was for the labor portion of Wi-Fi in the Human Services Corridor, and the installation, the labor portion of the installation.
There was one, I think, for $3,500. Is that the one you didn't get, or was it reduced to 28?
No, the one that we didn't get was actually for the car, which was quite a bit more than that. For the car, we had tried to get a car for the transportation program, and that was the one that we didn't get.
Okay, and how much was that supposed to be?
I don't have the number off the top of my head. I think it was 27,000. It was somewhere between 27 and 30,000. So we figured we would try because we really need a car.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, David.
If there are no more questions, motion to accept Christie's report.
So moved.
Okay, and a second?
I can do it. Alex?
Alex? Okay, perfect. So it's Pat and Alex, okay? All right, roll call vote. Janet?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Alex? Yes, okay.
I was not muted.
Arnie?
Yes.
Okay, Viviana,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Okay. Nancy, could you give us the youth services report, please? I think you're muted. Muted. Can't hear you.
I hit the button like 4 times, so
Okay, good.
sorry about that. Yes, so for programming, the school district actually came to me and asked if we could help support a speaker. His name was Shamil Gary. He's a former NFL player, and he played on 3 or 4 teams, but he came in and did some workshops with kids, did various sessions. I sat in on one of them. It was really great for the kids. It was a chance for them to kind of learn to speak clearly, answer questions, look people in the eye, stand up straight, and just kind of build their self-confidence as they spoke. And then he had a large session with all of the kids in the middle school in the gym, and he played some games with them, got them all riled up, and then tried to settle them down so he could actually get serious about talking. It took him a while to settle them down, but they finally did. But they did appreciate, what they heard. He was really talking about just, having a lot of self-respect and being your best self, whatever it is, so that each person kind of gets to be whoever they feel they should be. So it was good. I think the kids really enjoyed it. I would say the game playing part might have been a little longer than I would have liked, and I think the principal at the middle school agreed. But it was funded by the school district, and it was funded by Orange and Woodbridge Youth Services, and also the Bodak Prevention Council. So nice that we can all chip in and get better programs going that way. And actually, Jen Byers just reached out to me about a prevention program in vaping and possibly, other drug prevention. So I already reached out to Trisha Dahl, who did the vaping programs at the high school and the middle school recently. And so I'm waiting to hear back from her. We did have, I had an information table at the Ice Cream Social at Beecher Road School on September 2nd. I spoke to so many people and I gave out so many little goodies, tchotchkes. Bodak, the council gave me tons of goodies to hand out. So we had pinwheels for the younger kid, these bendable, rubbery things. Oh, I have one right here so they could make shapes out of it or whatever. I had kids begging for more of these, except I didn't want them to whip each other with it. But they were really good. I have to order some that say Woodbridge Youth Services next time because it was a good option. Gave out pens, notepads, all kinds of things, and so met lots and lots of parents and kids. It was a good way for me to meet people. Also had an information table and spoke to parents September 2nd at the middle school for their back to school night, which is always a great time. We ask people to sign up for information so that way I get people's email addresses so we can reach out to them, let them know about our programs, and also ask for volunteers, which is an underlying goal. I also spoke to lots of parents on Sunday, also, as Christy said, at the Woodbridge Lake Mead Day. And I'll be looking forward to this Saturday at the Color Run at the middle school. And we help support them as well. The Hispanic Heritage Month is being celebrated at the middle school weekly with a Hispanic video. And so they asked me if we would provide the snacks. So each week I take up some, waters and some snacks for the kids so they can be there to watch the video. And they had a really good turnout, so I was glad to see. I mean, the first day I think they had about 25 or 26, and next week I wasn't there that day, but I hear that they had a good turnout, so I'll be there to drop off some more goodies tomorrow. And, I think it's going well, and I really like this new Spanish teacher. She's young and she's got some great ideas to work with the kids, so maybe we'll work together again. Job Bank has a little more activity. I'm still trying to get some more kids involved, and once the kids are kind of settled into whatever sports and clubs they have, then they can start making commitment. But I really did meet lots of teenagers on Sunday, and if they didn't like the idea of the job bank, their parents sure did. So I'm hoping to get a few more recruits. community service, our kids are really getting some more community service. It seems to be that time of year. They're back in school, they're able to get out a little bit more. We didn't have many kids here during COVID, but we will have kids sorting food very soon when the Boy Scouts collect. So, I'll start scheduling that. Ellen and I will work together on scheduling the kids. And Bethany Harvest Festival, some of the kids worked there. Town Hall asked me for, a volunteer. So we had a student there. We have a student still working Tech Tuesdays who's just fabulous. We love him. He's absolutely awesome with our seniors and so patient and understanding. Nice to see. And we'll be working to get community service for other kids too. So it's been busy, but definitely we'll be getting kids in for a food pantry. So for planning, I have a home alone class starting this Thursday. It's a 2-day class, just 2 Thursdays, from 4 to 5 p.m. And Officer Lynch agreed to help out. So he usually comes in for about 20 minutes to a half hour and talks to the kids about emergency situations. And then I ask questions and he answers them. So it's always great when Vinny comes because the kids just love him and they really, they listen to him. Parents can say it, I can say it, but they really look at someone in uniform and, and really listen, and they just love him. So that should be great. Halloween Spooktacular is coming up at the middle school. That's October 28th. And it will be from 7 to 9 p.m. in the Amity Middle School gym. And we have inflatable axe throw coming, so that should be kind of fun to see. And we have a DJ, and we'll put out, cornhole games and board games and order pizza as well. So that should be fun. It's $7 per student. Color Run, as I said, is this Saturday up at the middle school. If anybody's interested in signing up to run or sponsor or just, they are earning money for the PTSO for programming for the year, and we do help to sponsor that. And I will hand out more information up there. So if you want to come by and pick up some pens and shopping bags, whatever, I'll have some things to hand out. Juvenile Review Board. So Jeanette and I have met with people through the Amity School District. We have police officers there. We have one from, the Woodbridge SRO at Amity High School, and we have Dave Merriam from Bethany is meeting, and a couple more people from the district. And we are building, hopefully, a nice regional juvenile review board. So the consensus was that there's still more research that needs to be done on truancy. So the first thing we will work on is just, preventing kids from getting into the system if they have some kind of offense. So we'll work on that first. We had Erica Brownlee attend our first meeting virtually. She works a lot with juvenile justice, and she's the representative to the Connecticut Youth Services Association. And, she reports, at the State House. She really has done a lot to get legislators on board with just budgeting for youth services and to help the Juvenile Review Board. So she's advising us through this, and she actually had us reach out to the town of Mansfield. There are 3 towns that have a Juvenile Review Board. They're just getting started, so they allowed us to review their forms, and we are sharing them with town councils so that we can decide on how we want to move forward with our agreement with the 3 towns. So that should be just a nice step forward. I think we've been trying to work on this for a long time. Staffing. Grant reporting first. So I did the expense report for fiscal year 22. That was just completed last month and forwarded to DCF. I did the budget for this current fiscal year 23 so now it's 3 grants. We have a base grant, we have an enhancement grant, and now we received a new supplemental grant this year. There's no counting on that grant. We really don't know for sure if they'll keep it, but my guess is they'll probably be pumping a little bit more money into direct services, and that's really what we have to use that for. So it will be for my salary and the new program coordinator salary as well. So speaking of program coordinator, Jeanette and I have interviewed a few people for program coordinator, and we did ask for an increase through Tony Genovese for that position to $20 an hour because it was under that, and we just felt that the responsibility really warranted $20 an hour. So he did approve that, and we did find someone we really liked, and we would like to go ahead and hire her. She's a graduate of Vassar with a degree in psychology, and she's also continuing her education in graduate school. Her name is Joy Gibson, and she has some experience working with youth, and she's been a teacher, and she works with programs, and she assists at her church. So she really, she comes with great references, and we would really be proud to hire her. So I would love to ask that someone make a motion to hire. Her name is Jamie, Jami, and then Joy, Joy. Last name is Gibson, Joy Gibson, as the youth program coordinator at the rate of $20 an hour, contingent upon clean background check and of course her paperwork that needs to be completed. Would anyone consider making a motion?
Question, Nancy, with her credentials, why does she want this job?
Actually, her long-term goal is to actually create something like what we do in her own business, and I think she'd like to take it back to her community in New Haven and expand on it. But I think she's really learning. She's agreed to give us 2 years because we've been training people and losing people, and it has become a stepping stone job to other things, but we're hoping we can hold on to her a little while longer. But I think, she's got learning to do. She still wants to, continue her career. So I don't think she wants anything really full time right now while she finishes school, and she's got some time to do that. And I think she'll be a nice asset for us. She's a little more mature than, some of the other people that we've interviewed, and it will be nice to work with someone at this level. So I think she brings some nice experience, and she might stay with us longer. Who knows?
Nancy used the word mature. I just want to be clear. She's very young and she's mature. So she seemed like a great candidate, and the business that she wants to create will ultimately be a social media platform business. So very positive youth development via social media. So not exactly duplicating us, but moving the concept forward. And I think ultimately a national platform. So she's got work ahead of her.
Yeah, I think she's just interested really in building self-esteem in young people and, keeping them on the right path. Actually, one of her references said to me, she really lives up to her middle name, which is Joy, because she brings lots of joy. And so that was so nice to hear. And we certainly would love to have her, and we'd love to have her, get started soon. So we'll have, if she joins us, then we will have 3 new people to train at our next youth evening program. So it'll be fun.
Any more questions? If not, a motion?
So move.
Arnie, thank you. In a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Pat raised his hand first, Jen. So, okay. Roll call vote. Janet?
Yes.
Okay. Alex?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Arnie?
Yes.
Viviana?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
And myself? Yes. Unanimous.
Thank you.
Sounds
Wait to get her
wonderful.
started.
So have
Here's
you
the help.
finished? You still have your report to finish though, right? Or are you done?
I think, no, that's it, actually.
Okay, good.
That's
So
it.
now we need a motion to accept Nancy's youth services report.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Okay, Janet,
I'll
thank
second.
you. Viviana, thank you. A motion and a second. Okay. Janet,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
okay, thank you. Arnie,
Yes.
Viviana,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Okay, unanimous. Jeanette, would you like to give us the human services report?
I was just noticing that the agenda and my report are at odds. So they do not flow in the same order, but I will follow the agenda. Senior Center renovation, we are engaged. We are fully moving ahead. There are changes that can be seen. The group is meeting. The group being the builders, Olympus Construction, Christy and Susan and myself, when Susan can attend. Brad Parsons for building maintenance, Amanda Cleveland from Silver Petrocelli, and Tony Genovese. And we've had a couple of good meetings. We've run into a couple of snags. This is a very old building that has got some structural issues. The most recent is the venting for the ERV units as part of the HVAC system will not be able to go through the wall above the windows in the cafeteria. It creates a problem. So they will need to be vented through the windows themselves. Obviously, that's not our first choice. Having vents, 6 of them, through windows will decrease the amount of light in a basement room. However, there's no recreating this space. There's either a way to go through the wall or there isn't. And according to the engineers, there's no way to go through the wall. So we're looking at remedies that will be the most acceptable. Right now, it seems like it might be a soffit that comes down just to cover them instead of seeing vents going through windows. Maybe a cover there, maybe some additional lighting to offset the lost window light. So we are awaiting new drawings, and that is actually holding things up a bit. The good news on the project is the UI incentive money that came to the project this past week. We were told Silver Petrocelli had applied to UI for some money on the efficiency of the project, and almost, well, I would say almost $10,000 came back to us based on the ERVs, which are the air handling units, and the lighting design. So that's a big positive. That $10,000 will go a long way to helping us when we are so tight in the budget. There are a couple of things that were added onto the project that had been in the project, but are now what they call add alternates. So the project ran short of money with, just the simple cost of doing this really basic work. And so the room divider for the lounge is not included in the project. And the projector is not included in the project. Thankfully, Christy got a nice grant for the labor portion of that, but we still need to purchase the hardware for that project. So, anything that helps us regain a little bit of that cushion in the project. And we're only a few weeks in, and we've seen, things sort of blow up with the venting of the ERVs. So we are hopeful that we can move along and save some money and come out with enough money for the add alternates at the end of the project.
Jeanette, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just to clarify, there weren't structural issues, correct? There were issues that there was because of the way that the structure is, it created issues.
Right, the building's not falling down,
Okay.
but the structure itself, once they got into the wall, prohibits the height of the vents themselves to go through the wall. So there is no space where they thought was space once they opened it up. So that's a structural problem. It does not reflect that the building is in danger. It simply reflects that the space was not available. So if are there any questions on that before I move on? Okay, living treasure. Here's a happy topic. Oh, you know what? I meant to start with, sorry. I want to start by thanking Arnie, because Arnie was with me Saturday morning for hours in the freezing cold, the two of us sort of stomping our feet. But for a good cause, we were out there for the Woodbridge Rex road race, and we were volunteers helping get the bib numbers and everything to the runners. And Arnie actually met me there. He was there at 8 in the morning on a cold Saturday morning. So I really want to thank Arnie for
I
exemplary.
follow directions. I'm told to be there at 8. I get there at 8. We were both
And we
barefoot
stuck
in
it
the
out.
snow. So
That road race tends to raise, I did not get a number yet, but tends to raise around $5,000, which they donate to the Resident Assistance Fund. So we're very grateful to the Recreation Department, and I want to thank them always for all their efforts to put on this road race and then to pass along the funding to the RAF, which is terrific. So then back to the living treasure.
thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. The living treasure, I think we've not had one complaint, 130 people there. Great volunteers, terrific volunteers. Susan and Kathy worked for months on the committee. The committee is a small committee. They got all of the auction items, ads sold. The ad book has never been bigger, and you can see from the revenue page that and expenditure page that I attached to my report. The ad book is, it's a winner. It's a real winner. I think people really liked it. It raised as much money as it ever has. And we had a good attendance, picking the outstanding volunteers that we choose. We try not to overlap people who represent the same groups, which brings out, this year it brought out B'nai Jacob, it brought out firefighters, it brought out the baseball folks, the Historical Society, First Church of Christ. We had all these different contingents of Woodbridge, this grand cross section of the town, crossing political barriers and religious barriers. Not that we have barriers, but crossing lines and bringing everyone together. It really was a terrific event with great award winners. And so Susan and Kathy, we thank you. And then our celebrity servers, we had Lauren and we had Alex and Jen. Our silent auction with Janet and our great bartender, Pat. I just want to be clear, we had so much help. I don't want to forget anybody. The event had other celebrity servers. If you weren't there, it was just, the assistant police chief, deputy police chief, the feature principal. We just had so much, Tony Genovese. It was really terrific with volunteers. And the money isn't bad, it's approximately $10,000. We try and keep the expenditures down. It really takes a village, though. This is months of work. And, we already know, we run short in our construction project, and there's not money for furniture. So we have a lovely new place that we're going to get, but we won't have furniture. So this money that we're raising really has a home very fast, and it'll go quickly. And so with that said, we'll likely have to do this again next year. It's not a have to, it's a get to. We're lucky that we're going to have a beautiful new senior center, and we will be able to hopefully throw this event in our very own location and have it, the pride of the senior center. So that's that. Are there any questions about the finance report or any of that? Kudos to all of you who helped with that event. The center building renovation committee is moving ahead, had a second open house for A&E architectural and engineering proposals. That was last week. We gave a tour. Several of the first group had came through again. A new one came through. We're hopeful that in 6 weeks we'll have a project somewhat described anyway, and a way to move forward, because this is just the start. It will provide us with a framework. This encompasses the second floor here and the police department and the envelope of the entire building. The gym, I think I pointed out last month, the gym is now out of the project because of the steep grant that was awarded to the town for $500,000. And that will hopefully be under this committee, but also move ahead without waiting for the rest of the project. Questions? Okay, capital budget. Capital budget is due October 28th. That said, I'm meeting with Tony Genovese this Thursday to go over what I've written and get input from Tony, and then Friday meet with Susan and Pat to get input from the commission. And then I'll bring it back here to the, I think it's November 3rd, nope, November 7th meeting. 7th meeting, and we'll retroactively approve it. If there's any changes, I can still change it, but it has to be submitted to Tony's office the 28th. I wish it could have been ready now. It's close, but we need input on it, and so the timing didn't work for our commission meeting. And we have COVID clinic this coming Thursday. COVID booster clinic with the bivalent booster. It is full at this time, with I think over 40 participants. It's 9 to 3, and there's 2 appointments every 15 minutes, and it is full, with very little wiggle room, unless people cancel their appointments. The 2 flu clinics are October 18th and 25th, one sponsored by what was previously the VNA of Guilford and Hamden, now Yale. They've made it less easy for us to work with them. Yale is less easy, I would say, overall than working with VNA. They handled the reservations previously. They are not. They took more insurances previously. They are not. They took self-pay for those who didn't have the proper insurance. They will not. So it's a relationship we're going to have to look at and see if we want to continue with them next year. I understand there are a number of pharmacies that are partnering with senior centers that we may be able to work with. And so we may look at doing it differently next year. OVNA, Orange VNA, has been the same, wonderful to work with. They do not take Connecticut, which is one of the main coverages for our town employees, which makes it difficult to have them. That clinic is likewise filling up, though, which is great with residents. And that's what we're here for. So residents, employees are all getting a chance, and as are the firefighters, to sign up for these flu clinics. That's that. The holiday basket program, the letters have gone out to the donors, the donor families, the individuals who have been terrific all these years. And so if you know anybody who's looking for an opportunity to partner in the Adopt a Family program, we welcome participation. If you just want to pass on that we accept gift cards, Stop and Shop, Target, Walmart kinds of gift cards. We accept those at the holidays for the gift baskets. And last year, I believe we had 51 families. So, you know, it's great that we can find so many donors who are willing to step up and sponsor a family. Energy assistance, I just want to point out that it's been kind of interesting in the last couple of weeks. New clients, new calls. I'm moving to Woodbridge and I want to find out what is available. I live in Woodbridge and we need access to the food pantry. So I'm not sure if it's an agency is pushing people toward us or if our newsletters and Woodbridge Town News are, or it's word of mouth. But I just wanted you to be aware that the numbers seem to be going up in a trend, but I'm going to keep you abreast of that because trends come and go. So we'll see what that means. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. It's only been a couple of weeks and there's been like 6 calls that are new. That's a lot for us. 6 new, not our regular clients, but 5 or 6. I think 1 didn't qualify, so 5. And the food pantry, I'm going to sort of segue. The police Sergeant Petalino put together a quick food drive, and it was scheduled to coincide with the road race. Unfortunately, the date he picked was the first road race date when it rained, and they did not postpone the event. So they got quite a bit of food for a single day, rainy day. And that came over to us today. So we're really pleased and grateful to the PD for their effort. Later this month, the Boy Scouts will have their annual food drive that brings in close to, about around 3,500 pounds of food. Those flyers were printed by the Human Services Department to help the volunteer Boy Scouts spread the word. Those will go into your mailboxes in the coming weeks, and the Boy Scouts will drive around on October 29th. They won't drive around. Their parents will drive around, and they'll pick up the 3,500 pounds of food and bring it here, we hope. It keeps us in food for several months. I think, for the most part, we are pretty flush in food through, April. And we can even reach into the summer with much of the stores that we get. So we're grateful for everything that comes in with that. Pay attention to your flyer in your mailbox, or next to your mailbox, or taped on your mailbox, because I don't believe that they can actually put it in your mailbox. And that's it for me. Questions? Comments? Okay.
Good stuff, Jeanette. That's my comment.
Thank you, Arnie. Thank you, my freezing cold buddy. Much appreciated.
It's very impressive, all that HS does. We salute you, really. If there are no questions, I need a motion to accept Jeanette's Human Services report.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Viviana, and a second.
Second.
Arnie, okay. Janet,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
thank you. Arnie,
Yes.
Viviana,
Yes.
Pat,
yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
and myself, unanimous.
Can I say one more thing?
Certainly may.
We have a great staff here who work hard, like just tremendously hard. And I just want to say, it is great stuff that happens here. And every day it's sort of our plans are derailed by, this person coming in or this on the phone. And every day we do our best to respond to each and every resident and programming. And we are short staffed sometimes, and we cover for each other. And I just want to say kudos to the staff.
I wanted to say, David, when you first appeared on the screen here, I welcomed you to our meetings again, but everybody was not present, so I wanted to repeat that. Okay.
Thank you.
And along those lines, I just wanted to say that you were all made aware of the fact that liaisons no longer report. And I was charged with doing a quarterly report, and the first report, which was just a page in length, was already submitted. That's it.
Well,
Okay.
actually, we're
Well to know that we did. Pardon?
we're supposed to do quarterly reports. I just finished mine today. So I guess we're getting 2 reports. I did have a question for you. It looked like you were in need of a replacement car. Is that correct?
Always. It's the story of our lives.
We always have a
Okay.
clunker we get.
Okay, so are you putting that in the capital budget?
Yeah, it's in there every year.
You are, okay. Are you aware that-
$35,000.
Okay. Are you also aware that the police have gotten budgeted for 2 new vehicles? So they
Yes.
should have 2.
I'm in
Okay,
touch
all
with
right,
them all the time.
all right,
However,
okay,
the vehicle I have right now is a
yeah,
2007 Ford 500. It has 178,000 miles on it. Remember that each of these miles is how far the car went, but not how
Right.
long the car was on. Police cars sit and run and run and run. So
We're
we
working
get
on
these
that.
hand-me-downs that, effectively were running for 13 years. There are
Mhm.
3 shifts of policemen 24/7. And these cars, the one car that they identified for us previously has a nickname with the police officers as Dirty 30. Okay. So yes, the chief is wonderful. He has identified another Crown Victoria that's unmarked for us, and we should be getting in the next couple of weeks. None of these cars is reliable, and all of them spend time in a garage where there's a mechanic who's stretched thin. There's no, he's maintaining an entire fleet of vehicles for public works. And if we get him, to look at something within a week or 2, we're lucky. So this is me just saying, at some point,
Yep.
we'd like, David, you had this wonderful idea last year to get a car that was, it was a electric vehicle or something more
Right.
sustainable.
Yep.
Can't
We
do
got
that
one
unless they
hybrid.
give us money.
The police department did put in for 1 hybrid vehicle and 1 regular vehicle. Because the
So-
hybrid is difficult to get in there. Yeah, so they're starting.
Right.
They're
The good
starting.
news is, David, the good news is in 12 years, we ought to get that hand-me-down from them. So,
Right. All right, so,
I don't mean to be cheeky. We have a car, we have a transportation program. We're a very good town for doing that. It's just that sometimes it would be nice if, we're talking about $30,000, $35,000 in, where millions go elsewhere.
sure,
And
no. It's a legitimate request, yeah, okay.
thank you, David. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Okay. Is there any other business If not, then our next meeting is November 7th, and I need, is it going to, we're going to still be Zooming, right? Is that has been, we discussed it last time, and it seemed to be the consensus that everybody liked being able to Zoom.
It's, I think until we have a location with the new senior center, I think it's a good bet that we should continue with these meetings from the comfort of your homes and our offices. We don't really have a location. Like tonight, room 16 is being used, and the gym is going to be used all the time for basketball now. So we don't really have a location. My feeling is the Zoom meetings work for now, but that's up to you guys. You're the board.
That seemed to be the consensus last time, but am I wrong, guys? Does
No,
anybody want to respond?
That was my
Why don't you just say, how many people are in favor? I mean, Zooming, is there anyone opposed to Zooming?
no.
No.
Okay,
No.
all right, so then that's obviously for many reasons, we will be Zooming. The meeting starts at 7, it'll be Zooming, and it is November 7th, and I will need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Second,
Second,
okay, Pat. Janet,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
Arnie. Arnie's gone, all right. Arnie, we have Viviana,
Yes.
Pat,
yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
and myself. Yes, I'm not even sure we needed to vote on that, but I always do. Anyhow, okay.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank
This
you,
is
everybody.
terrific.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Stay safe,
Bye.
enjoy the
Night.
leaves.